The Midnight Bloom. Elian was a golden cat who loved the safety of the living room rug. He spent his days watching the world through a glass window. To Elian, the garden outside looked like a jungle filled with scary shadows and strange noises. He was sure that if he ever went out there, he would get lost forever. One evening, a tiny mouse named Pip scurried onto the windowsill. She didn't look scared at all. "Elian," she whispered, "you are missing the best part of the night. In the middle of the yard, the silver bell flower is about to bloom. It only happens once a year, and it glows like a fallen star." Elian's ears twitched, but he stayed very still. "I can't go out there," he admitted, his voice trembling. "What if something catches me?" Pip climbed onto his paw and looked him in the eye. "Being brave doesn't mean you aren't scared, Elian. It means you try something new, even when your tummy feels wiggly." With a deep breath, Elian followed Pip to the back door. The door creaked open, and the cool night air tickled his whiskers. Elian hesitated at the threshold. He reached out one shaky paw and touched the wooden porch. It felt solid and cool, not scary at all. He took his first step into the great outdoors. They moved off the porch and into the tall grass. To Pip, the grass was like a giant forest, but Elian felt like he was walking on a soft, green carpet. He stayed close to Pip, watching her tail twitch as she led the way through the shadows. The garden smelled like damp earth and sweet clover. Suddenly, a giant, jagged shadow loomed over them. Elian's heart went thump, thump, thump. He puffed out his golden fur until he looked twice his size. He was ready to run back to his rug, but he remembered what Pip had said about being brave. He stood his ground and stared at the shadow. Pip scurried right into the middle of the scary shadow and laughed. "Don't worry, Elian. It's just the old rose bush. See? The thorns aren't monsters. They're just branches." Elian felt his fur go flat again. He realized that the shadows weren't nearly as scary once he looked at them closely. They reached a small clearing at the very center of the garden. Under the protection of a large hosta leaf, a single white bud began to unfurl its petals. As it opened, a soft, pearly light began to shine from within the flower. It was the silver bell, and it was more beautiful than anything Elian had ever seen. Elian leaned down to sniff the glowing flower. It smelled like honey and moonlight. He felt a wave of happiness wash over him. If he had stayed on his safe rug inside the house, he would have missed this magical moment. He realized that the world was full of wonders for those who were brave enough to find them. The next morning, Elian didn't just sit behind the glass. He walked out onto the porch, all by himself, to feel the sun on his face. He and Pip sat together, watching the butterflies. Elian wasn't a window cat anymore. He was an explorer, and he knew that being brave was the best adventure of all.